Sorry, I'm 3 minutes late. Okay, so it is week 3, and it is the Lipoedema community with myself and Jenny, and we are talking about energy work this week. So the use of energy. Jenny is trained in a Helix method. I am a Reiki practitioner and a Seikon practitioner, and I use energy within my work. I have done now for the last 3 years. Energy is a major part of the kind of work that I do. So within, oh, hello, that's Maxine. So I'm talking about energy work, and my teacher has just walked on. So hello, Maxine. Nice to see you. I'm going to send a wave because Maxine is the lady who taught me to be a Reiki master. So thank you for being here. I'm going to add Jenny in. Okay, so Jenny's going to come through. I'm really thrown. I'm privileged to have you on. I know I'm not actually talking to you, but you know, I'm quite shocked right now because my Reiki master, my Reiki teacher, is literally on our live.
Yay!
I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. So she's the lady who taught me Reiki Seikon, and what I have been putting into my work for the last 3 years.
Amazing.
Not in a million years did I think she would be on the live, but there you go. So yeah.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. You've had a busy one, haven't you?
Oh, yes. I've had a very busy week. So I've had a very busy week, and then I've had a very busy evening, and I've just jumped off of a board meeting with Talk Lipoedema and straight onto this live.
Oh.
So yes, it has been quite eventful today, to say the least.
Wow. Oh, good. Okay, so I know we haven't had a chance to catch up, so I'm happy to do an introduction of all things energy to give a bit of an overview for the viewers, if that works for you.
Well, I've told the viewers that you do Helix method, so I think the best thing to do is for you to talk about the Helix method and what you have been taught, what you're using this method of energy work for, and then obviously I will talk about my Reiki and why I use Reiki and what I'm doing with Reiki Seikon and within my treatments, and how that is working towards helping women with lipedema at the end of the day.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Yay. Okay. So I'm a Helix method mentor, advanced Helix method mentor, and I'm also trained in theta healing, and they're both different energy modalities, but both on the principle that, first of all, everything is energy. Now, we already know this. We already know everything is energy. Everything around us is energy. And we're also used to things operating on different frequencies and vibrations. So we know that, for example, an X-ray machine uses frequencies, vibrations, a microwave, the Wi-Fi, the way we're talking now, you know, it's all connected through energy and through waves, frequencies and vibrations. And we're also used to being able to change energy and change the outcome. So what I mean by that for those people watching is, if you were watching Netflix and you didn't like the program, you simply flick the switch on your remote and you change the frequency. The program is already there and you receive something different. Now, as humans, we are no different. And I like to describe it as our human Wi-Fi, because I think we're all familiar with Wi-Fi and it's an easy way to explain Wi-Fi. And when I do my slides in my masterclasses, I've got like this little human with a Wi-Fi signal going off it. So if you imagine that kind of energy field, that's what you're sending off, your human Wi-Fi. And this is like it's a signal that we send out into the universe, our human Wi-Fi. We send this signal out, and it's also a receiver, so whatever we send out we receive back in. So that's the first sort of thing to think about. So we're sending out electromagnetic waves, and there's studies that show that our energy field can be measured up to, I think it's 20 meters or 20 feet. And the example I give here is, I don't know if you've ever been out shopping and somebody just pops into your head, you know, like maybe you're in the supermarket and someone you just think of someone and think, oh, I haven't seen them in ages. And you literally push your trolley around the aisle and there they are. And you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. That is because you've already picked up on their energy field. So it's not a coincidence. It's like you've picked up on their energy field and they're in the vicinity and then there they are. So the other thing to think about is the universe is always listening to what we send out. So the universe picks up on what we send out and it gives us what we ask for. And we may not always like what we ask for, but it gives it. And everything you see in your life right now is what you have created. It's what you've asked the universe for. Now you might say, well, no, I didn't ask to, you know, be in financial debt, or I didn't ask for lipedema, or I didn't ask to struggle with this, that, and the other. But inadvertently, you're sending out messages from your energy field. So a simple example of this, and I'll come back to things like lipedema, but a simple example of this is when you have a rubbish day, it usually starts off with either us waking up late or us spilling the milk. Something happens and then we kind of send out this message of, oh, today's going to be horrendous. Oh, everything's going to go wrong. And sure enough, everything starts to go wrong. We lose our keys, you know, we get stuck in traffic, and it's just like a knock-on effect. And what we find is 9 o'clock in the morning, we walk into our place of work, which I know doesn't happen as much now because we all work from home, but we walk into work and we say something like, today's going to be an awful day, everything's going to go wrong. So again, we're sending out to the universe signals that everything's going to be wrong, everything's going to be hard today, and we get hard, and it's like a knock-on effect. And this energetic field, or you know, you will know it as your aura, it's holding not only what's going on in the present moment, but it's a recording device. So every emotion we've experienced, every memory we've experienced, and everything in our lives, and you know, if we want to get really deep in past generations, past lives, are all held in our energy field. And unless we learn to clear that, then we're carrying that around, and we are getting that, you know, we're vibrating on that frequency of whatever is being housed in our energy field. So as I say, the universe is always listening. So some of the things we do in the Helix method and in theta healing is, first of all, understanding that we are all operating on a different vibration and frequency. And I have what I use for my clients, the Helix scale of vibration and frequency, and it's like a scale of numbers. And you know, you can literally muscle test, and I'm going to teach everybody how to muscle test and see what number you are vibrating on. So for example, I did some raising my frequency yesterday, and I was vibrating on 340, and then by the end of it I was over 400. But the majority of the population are only vibrating around the 200 mark. And the 200 mark in terms of emotions, it's kind of like that safe, that kind of, you know, just on a level, mundane, ticking along, you know, just plodding along. And we don't want to be plodding along, do we? We want to be operating on a high frequency so that we can, you know, have the, you know, reduce the inflammation from our bodies, so that we can have the relationship with food that we want, and so that we can go out and smash our lives and live the life we want. So I know I'm not talking so much about lipedema, but I'm just trying to explain that energy affects every single area of your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you crack this energy stuff, and I know this is, you know, exactly what you're doing and you've been aligning for years now, but when you crack it, it's like you can literally change your life. It's like changing the telly, you know, you're changing your frequency, you're changing your vibration, and therefore you change the outcome of what you receive.
Mm-hmm.
So some people do this without realizing it. You know, I've seen a couple of ladies changing their, you know, their relationship with food and their relationship with lipedema, yourself and another lady I'm thinking of. And I wonder if initially you even realized you were doing that. You know, it was more like a decision. I'm not having this. This is not my life. And you change it.
No. So that part of it, I was having this conversation today. That part of it, you change your self-concept. You change your self-concept, which then changes your self-confidence, which changes your self-worth.
Yeah.
And that is all along the same frequency. So like you're going from frequency to frequency to frequency. But if you don't change your self-concept, you will never change your frequency.
Yeah, totally. And self-concept is some of the work I do with my clients. But what I'm saying is, I wonder if years ago, when you were first diagnosed with lipedema, whether you were into the energy field at that point, or whether you made that change without actually realizing what you were doing.
No, I made that change because I was going to be in a wheelchair if I didn't. So
But did you know about the energy work at that point? That's my question. Or
no,
has that something you learned?
no,
Like,
no, definitely not.
no.
We're going back 18 years ago. So I wouldn't have known anything about the energy work. That started in 2017.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we can often change our frequency and vibration without even appreciating the energy work.
I'll tell you what I did then was that I knew I had to do something. So whether that energy was involved in that,
yeah, well,
it clearly was. But I knew that I wasn't going to live this life.
Yeah.
I wasn't being told you're going to be in a wheelchair and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I was like, they're telling me that I've got to do something. But
yeah.
you don't see it as energy work. You
No.
see it as I've got to change, I've got to do something. And you were like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So now knowing that the frequency of energy is what brings that change is how that all comes together. But then learning in the last couple of weeks about certain areas that I'm going to talk about after you, that has made it very clear to me that that's where the changes come with the frequency, because it's not us changing our frequency by thinking that we need to change our frequency. You have to change the identity of who you are to change your frequency.
Absolutely.
And you cannot do that unless you change your self-concept, unless you look at yourself in a completely different way. So like I tested this theory with several people where I was trying to change their energy without them changing. And their energy is not willing to change until you identify yourself as a different person. Then the energy will change itself because you're identifying differently. You become different. Your energy equally becomes so much different. And then because the energy becomes different, you see that your self-worth rises, your self-confidence rises, and that is the energy that you are taking with you.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly how I work with my clients. So we start off with the vision of their future self, and I take through creating their new identity. Then we clear any resistance to that new identity, which is what I'm going to teach everybody. So you have to clear all the resistance. And
I've really gone in on some of my clients this week and like said to them, I want you to identify as you don't even have this illness.
Yeah.
Like, can you? Because people wake up in the morning and the first thing they see is a reflection of themselves. And seeing a reflection of yourself, you're seeing in 3D that you have an illness. I'm telling you, I don't want you to see that. I want you to visualize in your head that you do not even have this illness anymore. And that is what I have been doing for X amount of months now, alongside affirmations. Well, the affirmations have been changing my self-concept. Because my self-concept has changed, my visualization has come through clear as day that I am now visualizing myself without any of this. That is now starting to play into the 3D.
Yeah, amazing.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Also very difficult to explain and get people to take on board.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to try and give the overview of the energy, because I think like, so like what like, and I think the word affirmations, aligning, manifesting, it gets thrown around, and people like, but when you start to understand energy, it all makes sense, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And then when you start to experience it, and you create something through
if you saw the post that I put out yesterday, you will see the words at the bottom, I cannot unknow this. So I now know that I am the person who's blocking me in everything that I do,
Yeah.
because I cannot unknow this.
Yeah.
Which you're like, if I screw up, it's on me.
It's on you. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I can do for that.
No.
Like, I can change the situation, I can flip the script, I can change the narrative, which is what we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
But it's now on me.
Mm.
And it's on you. Like, if something happens, it's on you.
On me.
And you know that now.
Yeah. And you know, you talked about the identity. Something else I always talk about is our subconscious mind. So we our conscious mind, which people may or may not know, is only 5 to 10% of our thoughts. Then we have our subconscious mind, and we also have our, what I call my higher self, or your superconscious. And the thing is, it's the subconscious mind that is controlling the majority of our thinking. So your conscious mind might say, I want to be free from this illness, or I want to have a healthy relationship with food. But your subconscious mind is the one that's running the show and going, yeah, well, that's never going to happen because you've got lipedema, or you've always loved food, or, you know, you're always going to want to eat bread, or you're always going to. So it's being able to, again, flip that and listening to the subconscious. And the subconscious, sorry, when you start to change, you're moving away from what you call your default set point, and your conscious mind's going, hang on a minute, we don't know what it's like over there, so let's just rein this back to here, because we know we're safe here. And like you said about your identity, you know who you are as a person with lipedema, and if you've spent your life suffering with lipedema, with pain, you know, uncomfortable, not being able to fit in clothes, and all of those things that go with our illness, then when you start to change, there's also that subconscious brain screaming, going, I'm not sure about this. This is what I've wanted forever. But equally, there's all these things that change.
But that's where visualization comes in, because what I've been saying to people, if you visualize the person that you want to be every single day for like 15 to 20 seconds, but it's not about talking about this. You can't just say, I am going to be this person. You need to visualize the person in your head that you want to be for 15 to 20 seconds. Hold that thought for 15 to 20 seconds. Really believe it. Bring it in. The wish fulfilled. Once you've done that for 15 to 20 seconds, let it go and get on with your day. Right. You are bringing it in.
When you're bringing it in, the real important key that I find is being able to feel it. So you've got
to feel like the wish fulfilled. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like when you have the wish fulfilled, you have to be able to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Yeah.
And then let it go and get on with your day. Don't even think about it, because it's already coming through.
Yeah.
And that is an energy exchange.
Yeah, totally. And an example I'd give for this, because I think some people struggle with visualization, there's 2 examples I'd love to share. First of all, someone said to me last week, oh, I'm really struggling to visualize myself at this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? Try thinking about your living room at Christmas with your Christmas tree up. I said, can you see yourself there? She was like, yeah. I said, can you see all the colours on your tree? Can you visualise your living room? And she was like, yeah, I can see it. I said, now visualise yourself standing there at your goal. You've achieved what you want to achieve, what we were talking about. And she was like, closed her eyes, and she was like, I can see it now. But you know, when you say to someone, well, visualize yourself without that, they go, I can't. But then when you give them
it's creating a scenario, creating a scene, like putting yourself into a different scene, being able to do that. It's like you saying just a minute ago, talking about identity. I was talking to a woman last night, and I was saying to her, I've always identified as Karen who has lost 200 pounds. But I'm identifying as Karen who's lost 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I've been saying to myself, you're not going to go further than that. Yeah. You're only going to lose 200 pounds, because you're not going to go further than that, because you're Karen who's lost 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're Karen who's had 30 operations, and you have had X, Y, and Z happen in hospital, and you're saying to yourself, well, you can't go further than that. Mm-hmm. So you're what you don't recognize what you're doing is you're putting blocks in front of your life.
Yeah.
Like if you're a person who's like, oh, I've put on some weight, I know I've done this, I know I've done that. Well, then you're telling your body, I've put on some weight and it's cool. Like, it's cool. Yeah. You're not allowing yourself to see the bigger picture, that you are blocking yourself from actually moving forward and challenging that identity of who you are.
Yeah, it's totally right. And we also have the towards and away from goals with weight.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want to talk about weight loss, but when you're losing weight, you've got this goal of, you know, I want to be 10 stone, whatever, for example, and you get there and then you go, right, I'm never going over 11 stone. And every time you step on the scales, you're going, I'm not going over 11 stone. And you're watching the scales go back up to 11 stone. And then you get to 11 and go, right, I'm never going over 12. And you watch it happen, but your brain is like a Google search.
Yeah, yeah, you're programming it.
It doesn't hear the never. It's like it doesn't hear the not. And when I'm working with clients on releasing, we don't use the not, we put it in a certain way, because it doesn't hear the negative. It hears the, you know, 11 stone, 11 stone. Oh, okay, she wants to be 11 stone. Oh, she wants to be 12 stone now. Okay, we'll move to 12 stone. So you're giving out, that's the signal you are sending out. So yeah. And I was just going to give another example of on the visualizing, I can't think what it was. Feeling the emotion. I visualize every day my book being published, and what I do, I've got this scenario where this box of books comes, it gets delivered, it goes on the kitchen side. I won't open it until Nancy gets home from school, so I wait, I go pick her up from school, I come home, say my book's here, and then we open it together, and then she gives me a big hug and she says, I'm proud of you, Mummy. And even as I say it now, I feel really emotional, but every time I visualize that, I well up because I can feel it happening. That is how I know that it is going to happen, because I've lived it. I've felt it.
But it's not that you've lived it, it's that it's already happened.
Yeah, it's happened. I've been there.
Yeah, no, it's already happened.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that people don't understand, is that if you feel the wish fulfilled, it's already happened.
Yeah.
Right? You've already obtained that goal.
Yeah.
So, and then there's action. Then you take action to move that goal in. Yeah. But that comes again from understanding who you are, identifying who you are, self-concept, all of that. It's all been like a bit of a whirlwave of different energies this week coming into me for me to understand exactly what's going on. And then when I literally got the light bulb moment, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally challenging my clients right now. I'm setting them up to challenge themselves, and this is going to be huge. This part of it is going to be huge, because there's two, like, the people are already realizing, my clients are already realizing, oh my God, this is in my head. And when they come into my clinic and they give me that, oh my God, this is in my head moment, I'm like, oh, bang, we've broke through that barrier. And then that crazy change comes in.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It is exciting. It's a different way of working, isn't it? It's not the norm, put it that way. We're not normal.
No, we're not. So, do you want to go first with a bit, or do you want me to go through the energy kinesiology and?
No, you carry on doing what you're doing.
Okay, so will you demonstrate if I talk you through? Is that okay?
If you want me to stand up.
Yeah, do you mind? Yeah. So first of all, I want to teach everybody just energy kinesiology. It's often known as the sway test or muscle testing. And
muscle testing, yeah, that's something I do every day.
And all you do is, I know Kaz has done this before, so you stand up, feet hip width apart, and if you're watching and you can join in, please do have a go, because then if you struggle, if you've got any questions, I can help you. So you just literally stand with your feet hip width apart, arms by your side, and you just relax, and I like to close my eyes when I'm doing it, but it's up to you. Just close your eyes, focus your attention on your heart. Just take a nice deep breath, and then set the intention that if you sway forward, it means yes. And if you sway backwards, it means no. Okay, so just take a nice deep breath. If this is the first time you've done it, it might take a moment. So you're setting the intention within that a forward sway means yes, and a backward sway means no. And then I'm just going to invite you to test that by just saying out loud, my name is, and your name. So Kaz.
Okay, my name is Kaz.
Great. Did you feel the pull?
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. So if you have any questions when you're watching, please throw them in. Kaz, we'll also just do a couple of other tests. So can you just test something like, you know, your age, and then try an age that you're not, or change your name?
Okay, I'm 20. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Maybe try something like, you know, I live in a house with a swimming pool.
I live in a house with a swimming pool. No,
Unfortunately. I have, I drive a pink car.
I drive a pink car. No.
Okay, great. So the reason I'm just talking Kaz through these, so I'm just asking her to muscle test, to play around with it, so that she gets to trust her sway. Because the important thing is that you trust what your sway is telling you. And this is basically energy kinesiology, is unlocking your subconscious mind so that you can get the answers from your subconscious without kind of that whole, oh no, I don't think it's that. Because quite often, you know, like when I'm working with people and I'll say, do you think you've got a belief around this? And they'll go, no, 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 don't be silly. And then we'll go, oh, let's test it. And then you test it and it's like, yes. And then you dig in, you find out what's going on and where it's from. So quite often we might not be ready. We might not think that's an issue, and we need to clear that energy. So the next thing I would suggest testing, if we're sticking with the theme of lipedema, is I have inflammation in my body. Now,
I definitely do not.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a no for this because you've worked so hard on this. But if there's sufferers watching, lipedema ladies watching, then they're going to be, you know, getting a yes. So I have lipedema in my body.
Yes.
Okay, I have inflammation in my body.
Can I just stop just then? My body didn't want to say yes.
That's interesting.
I was being pulled in that direction. And pulled in that direction because my belief is different.
Your belief is different, yeah.
Yeah.
And something you can do to clear the energy is what we call a thymus thump. So you just tap yourself here for about 30 seconds and it just clears any energy that's stagnant, gets all the energy moving.
Okay, try that one again.
So we did, the first one we did was I have lipedema in my body.
Okay. Say it again.
I have lipedema in my body.
Yeah, no, it's doing both.
That's strange, isn't it? Try I have inflammation in my body.
I have inflammation in my body. No.
No, because you've got rid of the inflammation. So we could also test things like so for people that are trying to change their relationship with food, we can change their weight set point with this. So I did it the other day. I tested what my weight set point was, and then I asked if I could change it to a stone lighter, and I got a no. And then I if I got a resistance to changing it, and it said yes. And then I asked if I cleared the resistance, could I be a stone lighter, and it said yes. And then I asked, would I be happier, and I got a no. So I was like, well, don't need to worry then, I won't bother. But sometimes we have resistance to changing things. So let's do I'm thinking, do you think the most helpful releasing for those watching would be to release the inflammation in my body? Yeah. Okay, so what we do is, depending on the answers you get, there's a simple releasing statement. Now, I'm not going to go on and on, so I'm just going to do one. So we'll assume that some of the watchers have got a yes to have an inflammation in their body, and then we do simple releasing statements. But before we do that, we're going to connect to our higher self. So I'm just going to walk you through this. I like to do this with my hand on my heart, just because that's how I work and it helps me connect in with my higher self. We set the intention through breath work. So we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and out for 4. And we're going to do this 3 times. So just taking a nice deep breath in for 4, hold for 4, and then breathing out for 8. And again, breathing in for 4, hold for 4, and breathing out for 8. And as you continue to breathe in this way, I want you to do that one more time. I just want you to focus your attention on your soul star chakra. And this is about 18 inches above your head. And you can visualize this as a blue pearl. So it's just up there, just above your head. Just imagine it as a blue pearl. And you can imagine a bright white light coming down through your soul star chakra and through into your crown, into the top of your head. And this is connecting you with the life force energy. And then you're just going to say in your mind's eye, or you can say it out loud, speaking to all levels of my consciousness, I am setting the intention that in the name of divine truth, love and light, let all information come from my higher self and to be in perfect alignment with my highest good for my divine truth and the highest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we thank 3 times because we're thanking our 3 levels of consciousness. So once you've done that, then I'm going to talk you through the releasing statement. So Kaz, I know you've got no information in your body, but I'll give you the statement anyway for our viewers. So we simply say the statement 3 times. The first time we're going to say it out loud, and the second and third time we say it internally. So you just say it in your head. I'm going to say the statement 3 times so you can follow along, and I am going to say it slowly so that you can do the same. So Kaz, if you don't mind repeating out loud the first. So you're going to say, I'm ready to release.
I'm ready to release
any inflammation in my body.
any inflammation in my body.
I release this across all planes.
I release this across all planes.
Times, dimensions.
What?
Times, dimensions.
Times, dimensions.
And all levels of consciousness.
And all levels of consciousness.
And then you take a nice deep breath in. And you breathe out any energy that no longer serves you. And as you breathe in, I just invite you to imagine a white-green light. So a bright white light with a green hue. And this is coming down from your soul star chakra and washing over your crown and washing over your entire body. And it's taking away any energy that no longer serves you. And we use white-green light because this disintegrates energy that is no longer of use to us. And now this time we're going to say the same words internally. So I am ready to release this inflammation in my body. I release this across all planes, times, dimensions, and all levels of consciousness. And breathing in grace and love. And breathing out all energy that no longer serves. And then we're just going to say this one more time internally as we imagine that white-green light washing over our entire body, taking away any energy that no longer serves. And what I'd also invite you to do is if you notice any feelings in your body, if your knees feel achy, if your shoulders feel achy, then that's an area of tension as you're releasing. And your energy field is telling you. So just focus that white-green light in that area of tension as you release for the last time. So saying internally, I'm ready to release any inflammation I am holding in my body. I release this across all planes, times, dimensions, and all levels of consciousness. And breathing in grace and love. And a nice deep breath out. And then what we can do, and take as long as you need to let that integrate and before you come back to the room. And once you come back to the room, how are you feeling?
I'm good.
Feel good?
Yeah.
So then what we would do again is muscle test that it is gone. So we would muscle test. I'm just going to check in case we've got any questions because I have my eyes closed with you. No, I don't think we have. So we would then muscle test. I have inflammation in my body. And if you had a yes before, you would hopefully have a no. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of backward sways there. Now, I know people might be watching thinking, well, you tested and you already said you hadn't got inflammation.
We're just showing you how it works.
Just showing how it works. So I'm really interested if anyone's followed along at home, please let me know. And if you have still got if you've still got a yes after doing that releasing, then it may be there's some resistance to releasing it. So what we would then do is need to release the resistance before we released the inflammation. Sometimes it's a little bit stuck, sometimes it doesn't want to go. We have 3 different states of energy that we work in. We have when we're in flow. So when we're in flow, everything's going really well, everything just kind of, you know, like when you have some of them days and it's just like, oh, this is so good, everything's going right, everything's falling into place. But then we also have resistant energy, and that is like when you really know what you want and you're going for it, but it's like you take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. It's like this push pull, and that's when you're in resistant energy. Then we also have reversal, where it's just like you feel like you're going the opposite direction. So if you've got resistance or even a reversal of something you're trying to release, then we would need to shift that first. But what's interesting is, like, I'm just talking about inflammation in your body, but you can release trapped traumas, and we can if it's trapped in your liver, in your kidneys, in your heart. You know, you can there's just so much you can do with these methods. And then the next part is the alignment work. So we do aligning to what we're calling in. So we do an aligning statement and call in. So for example, again, if anyone's in pain, a great alignment statement is, I am ready to live my life with ease. So I wouldn't necessarily say pain-free, because I don't like including the word pain. So I'm ready to live my life with ease, or I'm ready to move with ease and speed. I align to moving with ease and speed, and I allow this in across all planes, times, dimensions, and levels of consciousness, and you can call that in. But one of the most important things, and you mentioned this earlier, Kaz, is living in the energy of the question. So it's that and taking the aligned action. So quite often, again, when we're struggling with something, what we do is we do this whole you know, why is things so hard? And what you get is loads of hard. You just get everything being hard. So instead, if we live in the energy of the question of, why is it so easy to, you know, release this lipedema from my body? Why is it so easy to have a healthy relationship with food? Then basically you're putting that out into the universe. And if you think about it, when you ask questions like, why is it so hard? You get the answer of why it's so hard. And what we want you to do is, you know, be asking questions that we're going to get the answers we need, not the answers we don't need. So a great example for you know, when you're struggling with food is, you know, people go, oh, why is it so hard? Why am I so greedy? Why do I always want to eat? Why do I always feel like this? And it's like, well, if you ask that question, you're going to get the answer to that. Well, you want to eat because, you know, you've always ate that way, or you're not going to get anything helpful back. So it's like really important to choose a question that's going to be really helpful and productive for you, and then take the aligned action. So if you get a little message, a little download, a little thought that says you need to, you know, book an appointment with Cass, or you need to dry brush every day, or you need to work on your relationship with food and eat anti-inflammatory diet, then, you know, that is what you need to do. You have to take the aligned action. But doing this powerful energy work every day and releasing any resistance as you go really, really helps. So that's like a whistle stop tour of the Helix method, really.
Okay.
Hi.
Let's just say hey to because she's. I'll get in trouble. Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So when you say that there's a need, that they say that there's a need, because in my teachings that I've been taught, I take away the word want and need.
Okay.
And I change it to I have done those things instead of need, because need still puts it on the line of want.
Yes, yeah. Did I use
Whereas, huh?
did I use the word need?
Yeah.
Oh
But I was just wondering if that is what, like, I'm not criticizing it because
no,
everybody teaches in a different way.
yeah.
But for
Normally
me, I kind
I
of try and get people to have it,
yes,
all that have that move already.
I now have is
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah, yeah.
commonly used, probably because I'm speaking quite fast and just throwing the words out there. But yeah, if we were designing something with, if I was designing a statement with a client, I would encourage them to use something like I now have
Yeah, yeah.
it, because it's basically saying it's already done. It's done.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 So always on the wish fulfilled
Yes.
front of being already done.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, I think that's the game changer, don't you?
It is. It is. You
Like,
have to
that
believe.
is the game changer now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also being patient and trusting divine timing, because I
Yeah.
think kind of
And that's exactly the case. Like, you can't tell yourself that it's going to be here in 24 hours.
no, no. And when you think about your journey and when I think about my journey, yes, I lost the majority of my weight in 2005, but I feel like I've only got to now, and what's that, 17 years? It,
17, 18 years.
it's taken me that long,
Yeah.
this point where I feel really at peace. Well, I think last year was a breakthrough for me, but really at peace with food and really at peace with my body finally.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, you think, geez, that's a huge amount of time, that's a huge journey, but it's, I seen a brilliant picture earlier and it was a load of steps going up a really big like hill in somewhere like Santorini, but it had really colourful plant pots all the way up the steps, and it said, instead of just focusing on the destination, enjoy the journey. And I looked and I thought, yeah, you know, you're walking up them, all them steps thinking, how am I ever going to get to the top? But it's beautiful along the way. And I thought, that's so true, isn't it? And we focus so much on the destination and wanting to be there, but we, you know, the journey is all part of it. And actually
Yeah.
the journey can be amazing, but we've
Mm.
just embrace and enjoy it instead of being frustrated with it.
I completely agree.
Mm.
I completely agree. Like, it's, um, this live is taking things to a completely different cycle and a completely different way of doing things that is
Mm.
going to be out of people's comfort zone because they're not going to understand completely why or what we're trying to say or how we're saying we see healing happening.
Yeah.
Because so many people are wired into a different way, and it's only because our journeys have taken us off those paths that we've found this way of dealing with life, because we've had to like support ourselves.
Well,
You had to find this for yourself in the first place. I had to find this for myself in the first
mm.
place. And I believe like the last 2 months have been some sort of crazy awakening within me. Like, I've known a lot, but these last 2 months have just solidified so much that I'm like, oh, okay,
Mm.
I know the answers.
Yeah. The answers are within us all.
And you're like,
Always live.
oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, okay. And then you're trying now bravely to help people to change their thought process and how it all moves and works now, which is really difficult because you are asking people to look outside of themselves and not see what's on the outside. So
Yeah.
it is a process, and this is why it's going to take some time for people to understand that this is an actual move that everybody should take.
Absolutely. It should be taught in schools.
It should be taught in schools, 100%.
But I think the thing is, we are, you know, it's like medicine and things like that, isn't it? We're all for, we grew up in a society where, you know, you're ill, you take a pill. And actually all of, you know, a lot of our ailments can be healed with our own minds.
Yeah.
Perfect example of this, one of the ladies that was on my Helix Method course came on a live at the start of the week, maybe end of last week. She was born with a degenerative eye condition, so her sight has gradually got worse and worse. She hasn't been able to read her own post for 7 years. She went live the other day and went, I can read my letter. I've got post and I can read it. And that is because she has spent every single day, an hour a day, really dedicated to changing her, you know, repairing her eyes. And I know people might be watching going, that's a load of rubbish. But
that muscle test that you've just done on me has just proved a massive, like, that has just been a breakthrough. You've just caused that to have a bit of a breakthrough, because my belief system truly believes that I'm not poorly anymore.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
Which is crazy, because it still was pulling me forward, but it was pulling me back first of all, and I could feel the pull back. And I haven't muscle tested on that particular question like in ages, because I've been working on my self-concept, working on what I am believing, what I am visualizing. My mind has completely changed.
Yeah.
So even if on the outside I wake up, so like you wake up in the morning and your knees hurt or whatever, there's nothing now that is telling me that these illnesses are here. Like, yes, okay, they're on the 3D, but my mind knows that this is playing out a story.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because that's a breakthrough. Like, that is a huge breakthrough. Like, huge breakthrough. And if it can happen to me, it can happen it can happen to anyone. Well, you just have to have that visualization and that strength in your mind to believe that.
Yeah, I think I said that last week, didn't I? That me and you, we're not super women. There's nothing special.
No.
One of you guys that have, you know, have worked it out over the years, and we just want to share that and help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And if we can do it, you can do it. So, yeah.
Well, that's crazy. It is 10 to 9.
So long. You wanted to do something as well. So
I am a Reiki Seiken practitioner, which means that I work with energy. And that means that Reiki, I work with earth energy, and Seiken is your fire, water, and air. Put those 4 elements together, it creates a really healing energy that is used throughout my treatment. So my treatment, reflexology, fascia therapy, and the Reiki is there within the work. If someone doesn't want me to do Reiki, then they just have to say, and they don't accept the energy. That's as easy as it is. But I am a vessel. The energy is around me. I am a vessel. The energy travels through me to the client. That's the way this works. And I am attuned to these energies. And I was watching a very clever woman the other day manipulate energy, and I was like, can I manipulate energy? Can I prove to people that I can manipulate energy? And so I've been doing this with my clients. I've been going, right, I want you to, and they're going, oh my God, how am I doing this? And I'm like, because anybody can do this, right? It's just a case of using your belief system, and it is seeing is believing, and that everything around us, everything that I touch, this wall, my face, everything that I'm touching is energy. This all around us is energy. We are all around energy. This phone, it's not just Jenny and I talking on a phone. This is energy. Okay. So when we were in the lockdowns and I was doing activations, how do you think that was traveling all across the world to people? Do you think it was traveling down a phone, or do you think the energy was traveling? It was traveling in energy, right? So the activations that I was doing for other people around the world, it was traveling in energy. So I am going to get you to do a little game. Okay. So this is where it's going to get fun.
What do I have to do?
Okay. So I want you to rub your hands together. So I want you to be able to feel the heat. I'm going to put the camera up slightly because I can't see myself. Okay. So we're just rubbing our hands together. We're going to create some heat. So anybody who wants to do this can do this at home. Anybody who's watching it later, give it a go. And if any of my clients are on here watching, please put things below. Okay. So keep going. We're just rubbing that together. Now I want you to then close your hands off so that you have them closed, and you will be able to feel some heat in between your hands. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to create a ball. So we're going to move our hands and we're going to create a ball in our hands. Okay, so we're going to keep moving our hands around, molding that ball, and we're going to keep molding. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull it apart very, very, very slowly. And you are going to feel what feels like a magnet in between your hands. And that magnet, that's not going to let you push it back, but you've got to try and push it back because you want to make the ball, right? So we're going to keep molding and creating the ball. And then we're going to pull again. We're going to pull it apart a little bit further. And you can feel that now. You can feel that heat. You can feel that energy. And we're going to try and push. And it's not going to, you can see my hands are pushing. And there's a magnet that is literally not letting that energy go. So we're going to keep molding that ball, creating that nice little ball that we've got going on here. And we're going to open it up. We're going to bring it up slightly to our chest. And we're going to keep opening. And we're going to create that magnet. And we're going to try and push it back. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. We can feel that energy. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring that energy all the way up to your heart. Okay, and we're going to open it up one last time. We're going to open it up nice and slow. And we're going to push that energy back. And we're going to create that ball because that ball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. And then you are going to literally turn it on itself and push it directly into your heart. And tell me what you can feel.
Feels
what
lovely.
What can you feel?
Just feel calm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have just manipulated energy.
I've done the ball before, but I've done it creating it to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then stepping inside it.
Yes, you can do that. I wasn't going to do that in the live.
Lovely.
The other way that you can do that, you can put it into your heart, which will calm you completely. So if you're feeling frantic or whatever, you can use this technique to create that energy and calm yourself down. If you're fight or flight, if you've got thought problems going on, if you're not controlling what's going on in your head, then you can bring that ball of energy up and you can place it into your head and it will completely calm you down and stop that fight or flight. But what I wanted to prove was that you and I and anybody else can manipulate energy because energy is real.
Yeah.
And so if energy is real, I hope now when people do this and they can see it for themselves and they use this practice, that they can see that energy is real. If I can manipulate energy, then we can manipulate our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an answer to this. Because seeing is believing. Hearing somebody say you can do, until you can see a person do that actual thing and prove that theory, then it opens your world up to what you can truly do and bring into your life for yourself.
But how many times do people say, I'll believe it, I'll believe it when I see it?
So with my clients, if I just measured people and they had the lists of measurements, I wouldn't be believed in my work. I have to physically take photographs to be believed in that work so that those photographs can prove what I know I am capable of doing for other people.
Yeah. And then once they believe it, then...
Yeah, once they believe it and they see it, then this is what social media is all about. If you're using it in the right way, you're using it to create that positive image of help that people can get using different methods.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is the only method. I'm not saying that this is the method that everybody should take. I'm saying this is one choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you choose to take this, there are those people like myself and you who do this kind of work.
And it, you know, like you say, it's not everybody's thing. It's, you know, it's we've give loads of different facts and options and thoughts over the last 3 weeks, and we've got next week to go. But it really is about finding what works for you and then putting that through. I think, you know, and again, muscle test. If you've got loads of different options and you're not sure which one to take, go within, set the intention, forward is yes, backwards is no, ask your sway, and muscle test. You know, I do this muscle test all the time now.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Like,
I do it to make stupid like stupid decisions. Like, I even had a client here when she came over, and I dropped her off at the hotel, and she said, because we were trying to choose a gym for her to go to, and she said, I'm going to go upstairs and muscle test, like, just to make, because she knew where she wanted to go, but she needed to make that final decision. So it's kind of like your subconscious. You're basically, you know the answer, you just need that extra push.
Do you know what's really funny? Muscle testing the vibration of the food you're eating. So do it with a glass of water and just start at like 200. Is it above 200? Is it above 210? Above 220? Find out what your frequency is. Then boil it and do it again. Because when you've boiled...
Are you talking about the thing, I can't remember what scale it's called.
Frequency scale of vibration. So where we're vibrating on. So you can find out where you're vibrating on yourself, but you can muscle test. And
what's the scale called? I can't remember.
Scale of consciousness. The Helix method scale of consciousness, but there'll be other ones very, very similar out there from the EMA energy alignment method and things like that. So we're all operating on these frequencies, but different frequencies. So as I said earlier, a lot of the population are around 200, but where you can test your own vibration and you can work on raising your vibration. And that's what I do with my clients. I help them to raise their vibrations. And we sometimes test at the start of a session, at the end of the session, which is really fun, to see how much they've gone up. But then you can also test what food you're eating, so test what frequency, and when you start eating high vibrational foods, then again, you know, you're putting the good stuff into your body. So that's quite
we would all be stood in the kitchen, wouldn't we, holding everything. Like, I've just put dinner, let me just double check if this is okay. What a fun life.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like I'm buzzing now. I do this.
Of course you are. So you're not going to sleep. I'm not going to sleep. This is going to be the third day in a row. So, you know, last night woken up because there was a freaking storm. And the thunder and the lightning came through. And then I was at work again early this morning. 12 hours yesterday, 13 hours today, including this.
We didn't
Swimming tomorrow, though. Back in my lake tomorrow.
Oh, are you? Yeah, I'm going for a swim in the morning, definitely. I didn't this morning. I decided to stay in bed with Nancy and have a little...
Well, why not?
It was lovely. It was And do you know what we did this morning? And I thought, sorry, we're digressing now, but I thought, this is like manifestation at its best. She said, I'm going to draw you something. And she said, what do you want me to draw? I said, I want you to draw my dream house. And she was like, right, I need to ask you some questions first. So now we've got about 8 pieces of paper. So she did a list. How many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms? And she was like, what's the kitchen look like? What's this? Has it got a balcony? Has it got this? Anyway, so we designed this dream house and we spent like about an hour in bed, and it didn't like all these sketches and stuff. And I was like, Nancy, we need to put this somewhere really special, because this is going to happen. Like, we've got to think about this now every day. It's going to be in Lanzarote, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 8 bedrooms.
So you're moving abroad?
Apparently so. 8 bedrooms, 4 with balconies.
Oh, wow. She's got taste.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to say before we close it off? Because it is 9 o'clock.
I don't think so. I think just probably to finish up with the energy is just start being aware. If nothing else, start being aware of your energy and how you, whether you are, some people are more sensitive to energy. So, you know, I can walk into a room and feel the energy in a room. I can feel the energy of people, you know, and we all get a bit of a vibe, don't we, from people?
Yes, I usually walk out.
Yeah. Some people are more sensitive to it than others. So just start getting in touch with your own energy field and notice, you know, how that is working for you. I think that's the key. And then, you know, if you've got any questions, you drop me or you a message. I'm actually doing a live inside my Facebook group on Tuesday night where I'm doing a full presentation with the slides and kind of really going into detail about this. So if anyone wants to join that, they're more than welcome to come along and ask questions. And, you know, it's going to be a 90-minute and I'll be taking you through some work again. So yeah, that's all from me. What about you?
Perfect. No, I've covered everything. I think everything's been covered energy wise in this live. We've shown people different methods. We've shown people what energy really is. We've shown how energy is very real. So yeah, I think it's on them now.
Yeah, fab. Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure as always.
As always.
Yeah, I'm coming to see you in September if you've got space for me. I've decided. So
well, I've told you that you can come and see me, and we'll create a day.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Because you'll be coming a long distance. So that's fine.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours, I reckon. Cool. Oh, my Facebook, Beth, it is in my bio. It's Weight Loss Mindset Energy Group. But yeah, there's just a link in my bio. It's probably the easiest place to find it. Cool. All righty.
Okay. All right. Take care. Mwah.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay. Bye.